best things about the way Fortnite monetizes itself is that it's not pay to win. It even says it there right in the shop. These items do not give you a competitive advantage. And not every game does that. I'm looking at you, Battlefront 2. From items that make you invisible, to pickaxes that just deal more damage straight up, and even things you can buy from the store that make you pretty much completely invincible. Today we're going to be looking at 15 pay-to-win items that made their way into Fortnite. Now, first item on our list definitely isn't the worst offender, but it's got a special place in my heart just because of how dumb it is, and that is the boxer skin. Now, this item only let you blend in some pretty specific spots, but when it worked, it was very satisfying, and I had some great times over at Caddy Corner, hiding amongst piles of boxes and being almost entirely undetectable to the enemy. And there's nothing better than having someone walk right up next to you so you can spring out and absolutely give them the shock of their lives. All right, number 2 on our list is also the first emote, and that is cartwheeling. Now, while most people might look at cartwheeling and not think that it's anything crazy, there was one specific game mode where this completely broke the game, and that was the headshots only LTM. Now, like the name suggests, in this game mode, you could only deal damage by hitting people in the head. But if you use the cartwheeling emote, then you could make it almost impossible for enemies to ever score a headshot, making you effectively invincible. And at a certain point, you could quickly spring up, surprise your enemy, and absolutely laser them, leaving them completely confused about what just happened. Now, number 3 on our list is probably the most OG hiding in plain sight skin, and that is the crack shot. Back when this was first added to the game, we used it to go into the Christmas-themed shops all around the Fortnite map and stand completely still, making you blend in the exact same spot that the almost identical looking crack shot statue stood. Now, since players were already expecting to see a statue there, no one suspected anything when you took its place, leading to some very satisfying and very sneaky eliminations. At number 4, we've actually got the most recent pay-to-win item that was added to the game, and that is the Dragon Rune Lance. Now, this was obviously added at the start of Chapter 3, Season 3 as part of the Battle Pass, and what people soon realized is while holding this pickaxe, it made your footsteps completely silent. This let you totally sneak up on enemies with them having no idea you were coming and score a very quick, very cheap, and very pay-to-win elimination. Luckily, Epic caught on to this after about a week and temporarily vaulted the item, and I believe they have now finally fixed it so it works the way it's intended. Now, as a general rule, when adding skins to a game, anything that is a single color is normally not a good idea, because you know there's dumb people like me who will find a way to abuse it. And the Toy Trooper was the first example of this skin. Now, when the Toy Trooper was first released, it was a perfect matte green color that was almost the exact same color as any grass or any hedge in the game. Now, using this to trick your enemies was not complicated at all. You literally went into any green spot and you sat completely still. Now, I personally used this around hedges to get a lot of cheeky elims, and I even saw a bunch of creators who would go to a giant open green field, sit in the middle of it, and no one could see them because you just blended in with the world's best camouflage. And this wasn't just some dumb meme strap, because Epic ultimately decided that this was so OP that they actually ended up changing the skin so that it had mud all over it, making it way harder to blend in. All right, now number 6 on our list isn't even actually an item. It is being a Fortnite crew member. Because currently, if you're in the Fortnite Crew, you're able to access the Fortnite Crew menu when playing the Imposters LTM to gain total free movement during meetings. This means that you can walk around the room, confuse everyone else you're playing with, and actually even go to a hidden spot inside a corner and make it completely impossible for anyone to vote for you, basically guaranteeing that you will win the game mode as an imposter. Now, this is almost certainly a glitch, and I'm sure Epic's eventually going to fix it, but right now, being a member of the Fortnite Crew is essentially a guaranteed win in imposters mode. All right, and number 7, we've got one of the most infamous pay-to-win skins in Fortnite history, the custom superhero skin. Now, obviously, the way these worked was simple. You could customize what type of superhero your character would look like. Unfortunately, people figured out pretty quickly you could customize it to just be a flat, static color of anything you wanted. If you wanted to camouflage in grass, you could make it green. If you wanted to camouflage against a brick wall, you could go gray. Or if you wanted to be like every single tryhard in the game and just be slightly harder to spot in a box fight, you could go matte black. Now, there is no doubt that being able to make yourself a flat color made this skin absolutely pay to win and definitely gave you a competitive advantage, which is probably why, after months of people complaining, Epic finally changed it. That hasn't, unfortunately, changed this still being one of the most popular skins in Fortnite competitive. And speaking of Fortnite competitive, at number 8, we've got a pay-to-win item that was pretty much only exploited in competitive game modes. And that is the Draggacorn Glider. Now, a lot of you might remember this was added into the game with Deadpool, but what some of you might have forgotten is the animation for when jumping onto it used to be completely different. When this was first added to the game, for the entire season, your character would do a crazy set of flips and jumps and dives while pulling this glider out. Meaning that in final competitive zones in Fortnite, when 10, 20, 30 people are all jumping onto gliders to try and rotate to the next area, people would use this glider to become almost impossible to hit. In fact, it was initially so bad that it was temporarily disabled in competitive mode specifically. Now, Epic's now fully changed the animation for this glider, so it's unfortunately not exploitable anymore. But for a while, this thing ruled Fortnite competitive. All right, now next up, we've got another great pay-to-win meme skin, and that was the Frozen Love Ranger. Now, this skin actually is still effectively the same as it always was, meaning that you can still do this. Because very quickly, a lot of content creators and players alike found out that if you sat on top of a reboot van with this skin, you blended in almost perfectly with the color of the hologram at the top, meaning you were impossible to spot. And an absolute ton of people like Laserbeam exploited this to sit on top of the reboot van, wait for a poor, unsuspecting enemy to come and try to reboot his teammates before taking them out in absolutely brutal fashion. All right, now at number 10, we've got the Star Wand Pickaxe, which is definitely one of the weirdest pay-to-win bugs to ever make it into the game. For whatever reason, when this pickaxe arrived in the game, it would deal 56 damage to the body and 84 damage on a headshot. That's right, it could even headshot people. Now, people went absolutely crazy when this happened and abused it for about a day or two before Epic quickly put that pickaxe back in the vault and managed to ultimately patch the problem. But for a while, it was literally more effective to hit people with this pickaxe than it was to run around with a shotgun. And honestly, it's still probably one of my favorite bugs of all time that's made it into the game. At number 11, we got another great meme skin. It's Hey Man, what more do I need to say? You go to the farm, you do the T-pose emote, you pretend to be the world's most convincing scarecrow, and people would just walk by giving you the freest and the easiest elims of all time. At number 12, we're going to be talking about the Deep Dab emote. Now, technically, there were a few different emotes you could pull this trick off with, but when this was originally added to the game, people quickly figured out you could use this to edit a window in your wall, do the deep dab to duck under the window, and then fire your shotgun to quickly pop up and take people by surprise. This has definitely got to be one of the sweatiest pay-to-win things that's ever been in the game. But for the few months that this existed, it was absolutely one of the most powerful things you could do. And eventually, Epic realized what was happening, and they've now changed it. So after doing an emote, there is a delay before you can fire your gun. At lucky number 13, we're going to be talking about the Star Wars Riot Control Bat. Now, this item was very similar to the Dragon Rune Lance, in that for a while using it in the game, your footsteps were completely undetectable. Enemies couldn't hear you coming, and that allowed for some absolutely fantastic sneak attacks. All right, our pay-to-win item number 14 is going to be the legendary, the all-time Fortnite GOAT that is Peely. Now, this skin's a bit of a different kind of pay-to-win, because this was actually something that I thought about doing as soon as it got added to the game. Most skins in Fortnite almost perfectly match the hitbox of your character, which is the area that can actually get shot. Obviously, though, Peely looks a little bit different. And when this first got added to the game, I would build a 1x1 tower, sit at the top with the top part of the skin poking out, and just watch as people fired infinitely into it, expecting to score the world's easiest headshot. headshot. Unfortunately for them, the character hitbox doesn't quite go that high, meaning you could use this to bait out as many enemies as you want, find out their exact location, and then fire back for a quick heal. And finally, one of the more recent, more infamous, and definitely most powerful emotes that were pay to win is the neighborly emote from the Spider-Man skin. Now, most of you have probably seen this. It was very easy. You could simply use it to jump on top of doors, build inside the stairs on boxes, and basically make your character go not just a little bit higher, but effectively completely into the block above, even if there was an existing wall or floor there. Now, you could use this to bait people into a certain room, either go invisible to avoid detection entirely, or have them walk in thinking they're safe before you spring out and absolutely jump scare them. Now, ultimately, this was one that I think Epic decided was kind of niche and didn't need too much fixing, so this is actually still in the game and abusable today. So if you got the Spider-Man skin, get in there. Guys, that's going to do it for our top 15 most pay-to-win Fortnite items. If there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you legends in the next one. Bye-bye.